do we solve, it seems like I'm getting calls, and I've been in some of the SEC meetings where there seems to be a disconnect between the administration and the parents in terms of like bullying and harassment and gangs. You know, like I hear administrators saying that, you know, those aren't issues that the parents do, or in a couple of cases, you know, I'm at meetings and I thought the conversation went well, then the parents call later saying, you know, how do they address that because they don't feel comfortable challenging the principal in front of everybody. But then I don't know where we go, where do we find the data, number one, to see is that really a problem that's being described, and number two, I'm a bit confused as to what programs we have out there that would address like a, you know, a gang issue. Like I know about colors. You know, I've been told that, you know, the Latinos in Action is another, but then other people are saying those are two different programs. And then there's another program I'm hearing about that if you said the name, I'd remember. But
thanks for tough times.
Thank you. And so how do we solve that disconnect? I'm hoping it filters out as we start putting this to paper, but is there something else we can do?
No, I'm not sure that you'll see that in the school improvement plan, Michael.
Okay.
But in the PBIS document, Positive Behavior Intervention Support, which every school has to fill out, that lets you know what they're doing to help manage their student behavior, you know, in a positive way. We're required by the state to have a plan in place.
Okay.
So hopefully, as your parents come to the school community councils, they can have a discussion what, you know, because bullying and all the other behavior issues you discussed, a lot of that has to do with how we're supporting our students positively. You know, what are we doing preventatively to help negative behaviors? So, and some of our highly impacted schools do have colors, and they do have other supports in their behavior plan. So does that help your concern? And hopefully if the parents have a concern, Michael, they would schedule a meeting with the principal one-on-one to say, gosh, I noticed we didn't have this discussion, because I feel like the principal would welcome that from a parent if they had that concern. At least I know mine would.
The other thing I just mentioned about that particular topic is the conversation that we're starting to have about which program do we use to support and address this district-wide. So you mentioned Colors of Success. We have PBIS going on, the Techniques for Tough Times. We have a multi-tier system of support that's in place, community of caring, character education, and a presentation the other day called Welcoming Schools, all really targeted to address bullying in different ways and goes a little bit beyond the bullying, but addressing the climate and culture within the school. So which of those do we want to rally behind and get going in place system-wide, or is it okay to have a variety of choices there for us? So, you know, those kinds of conversations we'll have over the course of this coming year as well, trying to narrow down where do we support it and in which way, and how do we make certain that's occurring across the district.
Is there, yeah, so can we get like a, you know, like I mean like a graph or something that is that possible to do that? Because then I, you know, asking the question, I'm thinking I'll just call student services tomorrow and see, here's what I know, can you sort it out for me and tell me where they all fit?
Yeah.
Because you just said some new names, and now really, you know, but I don't know, I think we need to probably get it on paper so the parents understand it too, on what their choices are when they're having these meetings.
The backing about asking me to come in the microphone is that I don't give it up very easily, so I apologize, but I just want to add a little bit into that. One of the things that's really, I think, very helpful about the template for the school improvement plan as it exists beginning this year is that it does anticipate a logical connection between what's the problem at the school, how do you know why it's a problem, but and all that. It should actually be well connected. And it does provide a very direct opportunity for schools to look beyond just we need to improve the percentage of students who are at proficiency from 45 to 49. So you will actually see in many of the cases attention to areas that may not have been thought of under the old template, and putting that together. And then the other thing that I would add to that goes back to a comment that was made by Mr. Eint from Hillside in response to a question that Board Member Bennett had, and that is, I didn't know that data was available. And actually, we have more data than anyone. We're amazing. So it's knowable. It's absolutely knowable. And if we have an issue where we're questioning, is the bullying perceived or is it real? Are the misbehaviors significant? Are they more minor and they're taken out of context? We actually can provide that information. And this template provides an opportunity for schools to really look at it and discuss what needs to be moved forward. Which brings me to, just to follow up on Patrick's comment, which is we've got Colors of Success, which is meant to intervene with students who are gang-related or headed in that direction. We have Latinos in Action, which is meant to be an incentive for our Latina and Latino students to become involved, and there is a significant community service and other belonging. Techniques for Tough Times is about learning social skills, and it's not meant as an intervention program. So to your question of what are these various things and how do they fit in, I wish I could say that if you went to student services you would get it, but some of them are curriculum and some of them are counselors.
Right.
But the most important thing is to remember, if it's data that you need, request the data and give us the time to look at it and actually figure out what question you're asking. It doesn't happen overnight. Mr. Ryan said it's really arduous to get that data, but it's knowable if we ask the question in the right way and really dig in, and then to use the structure that we have in place to really attack the problems that actually exist in our buildings as opposed to what the street definition might be. And parent compacts are a point of policy, not the school improvement plan. So it's C1.
Yeah, I saw that. Are they unique to Title I schools? Or is every school?
In our policy, it talks about what needs to be in a parent compact. The board already had adopted expectations for communication and those formalized documents. And in the administrative procedures, it outlines very specifically what must be included in the Title I school. So it's a brighter light.
Okay.